I don't have headphones. There's always something. Hang on, don't screw up my video. That just goes in there, and then it should connect. And I think we're okay. Nothing broke yet. All right, so I got a Civic. Beautiful. We're gonna be doing all the sides and the rear in 15. So that's this roll, that's that hose. This sprayer, that's where I was. We haven't put in soap yet. Now we're just doing one more card today. So that means I don't have to fill this up all the way. So we got 1 ounce and then probably about that much. So if it's all the way full, we're talking, yeah, I'm always on the slicker side of things, but it's a Civic, so it shouldn't be sticky. But yeah, look at this. Look at this mess. I can't keep shit clean. It is clean, but I don't know where to put this stuff. So it just does that. So we are this button. See, my icons are exactly the same. It's like everything just piles up. It got it. It is a late one today. I had a couple sets of doors. Tweaking some stuff on this. So this one had booked for 2 o'clock. And who am I to say no? Usually I'll come in around 10 or 11. It's my favorite time to do them. All right, we should be good. So let's put this over there. Actually, this can stay back here. That doesn't need to go up front. I'd always put the kegs like near the back tire. So let's leave that there. Keep the heat guns up there, maybe. We should have just backed it in, probably. But we good. We ready to cut this. Let me take off my jacket too. I don't need that right now. Need a closer coat hanger. There we go. Gift cards. Gift cards are cool. What PSI? 90. Typically 90. Right about there. Slice that in half. Have you ever had any comebacks with GeoShield over the years? I had a couple windows peel. That's more me. That's not so much film. And I did have one that was mildly concerning. It was a Fusion. But Fusions are kind of, I don't know what it is about a Fusion, but it's not weird to have any brand fail on a Fusion, but it was on the back window. Done like 5 years ago. Gila's economy tint? I don't know. What is their economy tint? That's what, auto parts store film? Like AutoZone? It's fine to like learn on that kind of stuff and play around with it. It's there, it's accessible. Compared to like an actual roll of film though, it's kind of expensive for what it is. You just can buy it in you can just buy it in small quantities. Was the easiest car to do? Oh, this one's definitely up there. Malibu is always the first one to come to mind because they get way more Malibus than something like this. But this is definitely up there for sure. Do you use the factory bottom edge of the film? Yeah. But when I'm double cutting, it's less convenient for me to use that. So that's why I trim the bottom edge first. Come on, there we go. Can you send me a gift in the mail? Yes. I just have a shop address, so. You definitely can send stuff. It's an awkward angle. Why don't you do wraps? I mean, being on of an 18 mile and not so far from 8 Mile, you would think we would do wraps. But wraps is just a different skill set and a different business to grow. If you do vinyl, a lot of people are gonna ask if you do window tint. But if you do window tint, not as many people will do vinyl. And just like anything, like all these services are their own business. There is crossover, there is complementary. But I don't have time. I'm happy with window tint. Wrapping takes too long sometimes. Yeah, that's exactly it. Is there's all these things that you can do, but when you scale, when you grow, you want to put people in charge of those things. So if I ever were to take it on, would I learn stuff about it and would I be able to do some? Yeah, I could probably wrap a hood just fine. I've done PPF before. But I just don't want to do it. It's just a complete trade-off to another thing that I gotta grow rather than just like, oh yeah, we do tint. and PPF. It's like a lot of people don't think about all the problems that come along with it. If you didn't have GeoShield, what brand would you consider next? It's a good question. There's a lot of them that are so similar. I would hesitate, like just switching from like going from like a Geo to a high tech would be a pretty seamless transition. You're not really getting a dramatically different film. So there isn't anything that I'm missing out on, really, from any brand as far as film goes, but it'd be a little bit more interesting to be behind a bigger program. But usually what that just means is it makes you feel better. I'd say one of the most significant moves was like XPEL's in the Tesla app. So I would just expect them to get quite a few more referrals. It's my birthday. Aw, happy birthday. Congrats on being the most squiggly one to win that race. Would you recommend shrinking on the car rather than the peel board? I mean, I always do shrink on the car instead of a peel board most of the time. You absolutely can do either one. Just preference. On a car, you get exactly what this is gonna be. That's the only reason I'm gonna like doing it on the car. On a peel board, it's a little bit more guessing, but there's so many vehicles that are the same or similar, so you can guess them pretty easily. Did you do the rear windshield? No, we just started. I didn't even do a door yet. All right, so let's get a blade. A car like this is typically a couple hours. So we're not doing a windshield. It's just sides and rear. If I was scrambling, I'd have it done in like an hour, hour 15. But a more like chill, comfortable pace is 2 hours now. I used to tint faster. But I obsess over a lot of small spots now. And I just take longer because I'm not under the same pressure I was before. I used to not have a choice, you know. You tint for a company, there's just car after car after car after car. So you just like, oh, okay. You don't really know the schedule. You just see the cars as they go up on the board. And you just try and plan accordingly. So you know, like, hey, I probably only have an hour and a half on this car before they're gonna put another one up there. How much should a two-door Bronco front doors only? We're doing front doors for $150. I'd say like no less than 100. Somewhere in between there. But it varies all over the place. Front doors are quick in and out. Especially if you got a good workflow. Have you done any electronic tint that turns on and off? No. I've seen a little bit in person, like the frosted stuff. And still, from the videos, it looks hazy. But it's mainly for commercial stuff. I want to say I saw a video not long ago for automotive. So there might be something. But it's either going to be a little iffy or expensive or a little bit of both. Probably both. The idea is super cool. I mean, but I think cost would probably only put it on, you know, your head turner vehicles. Should I get a 36-inch roll or 40? I started like a month ago. I'm still growing, but I don't have enough traffic to buy multiple sizes. Ooh. Good question. It's tough. I'm 3624. So I got my truck windows covered. A 40 would be the safer bet. But it depends on the types of vehicles that you get in more often than not. Because like a 36 on an F-150 is saving a little bit more film than a 40. But a 40 is gonna win on like a mid-size SUV sometimes because you can split it in half and cover a little bit more. Maybe you take a deposit. Schedule it out a few days, that way you can order a roll based on what the customer is gonna get. Because it's a little bit harder to guess. But I'm typically 3624. I save a little bit of money on the longer rolls. There's times that bites me in the butt. But more often than not for me, it works. A 36 on an F-150 can still work, but you're flipping the roll sideways. But then if you have a solid back window, it just sucks anyway. How much do you charge in a car like this? We just have standard pricing across the board for most things. So this is $350. We're doing C2 ceramic. Been buying 40-inch rolls and it's never let me down. Nice. That's kind of the idea with 40s. So you're spending a little bit of more money, but you get more coverage. There's a lot of cars, including this one. Like 36, I can split that in half and still cover my doors. I can flip it sideways and still cover larger trucks and SUVs most of the time. But it's not gonna work out for me every time. It's always good to have a short roll though. Might mess up a window or something. Bro, looking at chat? Sometimes. Sometimes I hear whispers. What cheap tint would you use? I wouldn't. I don't like the trade-offs. So I've never been a cheap film type of person. Film costs is not that much. So the thing is, on like your cheap brands, you might be able to save half the cost. But in a car like this, in our carbon film, my cost is gonna be like $32. Saving half the cost on that is like, okay, so I'm a little under 20 bucks. Like $15, $16. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I guess unless you're doing cars for 100 bucks, then you gotta try and save pennies any way you can. So anywhere that I've tinted, I mean, there was one time we were doing cars for like 170 bucks, I think. That was probably the cheapest. God, what a grind that was. We were still, we were buying rolls, I want to say, for like 60-inch rolls for like 160 bucks. How do you fix contamination? No matter how much I clean, I still find little amounts. Yeah, you just gotta get better. And I know that answer kind of sucks, but you don't fix contamination. You have to try and prevent it entirely. So, because there's just not much that you can do. If you get specks in a window, you can't get them out. Johnson's, I don't ever remember. I would have put it on a couple windows working for a shop for a week. But I don't remember what it was like. It's like a Eclipse out in Livonia. I got a job there, and then we were talking about pay as things went on, and it was like, oh, they're looking to give me like a couple $100 in a week, and it's like, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. Would you send GeoShield? Would you say GeoShield is the best tint on the market? So it's a bit of a tough question to definitively answer like that. I don't feel like switching to any other type of film is going to give you any type of advantage. I'd basically summarize it like that. I'm not missing out on anybody's film by using GeoShield. They'll go toe-to-toe with anybody on the market. What you're paying for with a better film, a lot of people think that it's film, it's brand awareness, status. Like, let's say you buy a handbag, or if you're spending like $3,000 on a handbag, do you think you're getting a $3,000 better leather or something? Or do you think you're getting $3,000 worth of status? It's the same thing for window films. Over a certain threshold, you're really not getting any better film. You're paying for brand. So that's why I like GeoShield a lot. And there's a few other brands that are going to fit that same type of category, where they just don't have as much brand recognition, but they have really good films, solid branding. But I get like beaten to death every time I stream asking about this brand over that brand, and it's like we can't avoid that conversation. But man, it gets old. Can you pray for my friends? There isn't anything wrong with them. They just suck at tinting. No computer template? No, they have one. They definitely have one. I just make them myself. With two-stage, do you fold the film part with the adhesive where the liner is? I do fold it with where the liner is. So like you have the film peeled down, and then so the liner is grabbed onto the film. And so wherever it splits, I fold a little bit below that because I used to not ever tape seals. So my thinking there and training, we'll just do this one, was you don't want the adhesive to touch the back side of the seal because it's just gonna get dirty. But little folds will typically be there if it's just very tight. If it's not that tight, sometimes you won't have a fold, but touch-ups on two-staging are pretty inevitable. Any thoughts on Rogue? They've been around for a little while now at this point. It's gonna be Solar FX's budget brand. I haven't tried it. But I hear good things, and a lot of people are pretty budget focused on film rolls. You just never know how long it's gonna last until you put it on the glass. So I've always been less interested on that range. I feel like film rolls below 250 is in the realm of gambling. You just don't know. It might be good, it might not be, but you don't know. But if the company is going to back it, then that's what warranty's for. Yeah, I would just dig through that to see, hey, if 2-3 years go by and then all these fail, what are they going to do? That's the insurance policy that you pay for when you buy a more expensive film. I mean, you just don't want a failure. But if you do have a failure, I mean, you don't want to just be out of pocket with all of that because that sucks. The Black Friday deals for GeoShield was great. Yeah, it was crazy. %30 is nuts. The problem with rolls under 250 is that multiple companies sell 50-foot rolls for around that price. I don't really understand. The problem with multiple companies sell 50-foot rolls around that 50-foot roll. But I'm just talking about 100-foot rolls. So like not the roll itself is under 250, like you could find a good 24-inch roll under that. Like if you take a 36-inch roll of film for under 250, it's just you're getting in sketchy territory. Have you seen any color change on Geo? Nope, none. GeoShield is around 250 for 100-foot rolls, but 36-inch rolls go up like crazy. Not really. It depends on the category that you're shopping in. feel like a C2 ceramic's gonna be near 400. Carbon's gonna be what? I think 275 now, somewhere in there. I should say carbon under 250 is sketchy territory. Ceramic under 350 is sketchy territory. That's probably what I should clarify. It's just good films cost money. Everybody's looking for that silver bullet on the $100 roll of film that lasts forever, that has all the performance in the world. Maybe that day will come. I'll let other people discover it. But the only thing that's going to change is prices are going to keep falling. Like, so then it's not about today's pricing. It's going to be about doing cars for $100. Like, that's how the market adjusts. So it's like there's a reason there's a reason why there's a range. And nothing is ever that simple. Because as soon as there's a shortcut, it all gets filled and known about. And then all of a sudden it's not a worthwhile thing anymore. I've tried Moto Shield, but Shield just does way better when it comes to shrinking. Makes sense. Moto Shield is like a Amazon brand. And there's a big reason why you don't see the same films listed on Amazon is strictly because market fees and your customer base is completely different. Amazon isn't quite, like there is some B2B, but it's mainly B2C. So there's a lot of like dealer stores. But for Amazon to take what, around like 15% margins right off the top, it doesn't make sense to have a film brand there. They don't want to be associated with Amazon as a film brand. When I pull shrink, it tends to crumble. I don't know. If you could post a video, it'd be easier. In our group, it'd be easier to tell you what's going on. Two film sizes that cover most cars. Yeah, 24 and 36, that's what I get. Is what I've been using for a very long time. There are situations where a 40 is going to be a smarter choice. There are times where a 20-inch roll is going to be a smarter choice. I've just been doing 36 24s for so long. It works out pretty well. I can take a 36-inch roll, split it in half on most cars. So like sedans, coupes, 36-inch roll is gonna fit like every time. I think except for a Honda Fit. A Honda Fit is like stupid tall for such a small car. There's a stupid amount of windows and they're very tall. I don't know how they did it, it's magic. You know how much I need for a back of a truck since it's all one full piece? I could look it up. You could also take a tape measure. But on a truck, 20-inch roll is going to be perfectly fine in the vast majority of situations by, I don't know, 5 feet, something like that. "30-year tinter, every OG that used to use their teeth, they're all dead except me. I use my fingernail." What does that even mean? I still use my teeth. I do both. I'm a hybrid. Where's my sprayer? Oh, it's in my sink. I like when I pull shrink, I have to pull it with my hand, leaving the tint out of the window. So when it gets much heat, it gives up. That's why I leave it attached to the window. Oh, you're just putting way too much heat on it. You're frying it. So when you're pull shrinking, you're not even really pulling it very hard at all. You're just like lifting it. And then you just keep the heat gun moving and you just do it fast. When the film is lifted away from the window, it'll burn super quick because there's nothing like taking that heat away. But you can shrink it more evenly. It's just you're literally pulling it flat, so it's hard to see how you're shrinking it. But you are for sure just like frying the shit out of it. Is your opinion on tinting outside? Would it be good to start like that? It'd be extremely difficult. It's like trying to paint a car outside. Not that it can't be done. It's just you got a lot of things working against you. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've had to actually tint anything outside. And one of those was a motorhome. And so I still got to tint inside. But there's guys that do it. They make it work. It's just you're way more impacted by whatever the weather does. It's tough. It's the worst of everything. Does water just go into the door panel? It goes into the door panel, out the bottom, never to be seen or heard from again until it rains. And then you drink it. What kind of solution are you spraying? A tinting one. It's soapy water, but the soap that we're using is called Tint Slip because we were so original with the name. This is like the Accords. Back doors seem more curved than the front, and especially in this area, a little bit more curve there. Yeah, so somebody in chat brings up a good point. You see that? You see that hole there? Oops. See, like water just gets in there. So weather stripping prevents that. In your head it does. But you see those gaps? You see those gaps? Go look closer on every car. I'm sorry. There's always water that is getting into a car. That's just how it is. But they account for that. Notice how there's a seal on this part, and all this is left outside. That seal matches up against here, and then we still have all that. So water just comes and it drips out the side. You just don't really notice because shut door means nothing's getting in there. There's stuff getting in there. We're all driving with mold. I did C2 ceramic on a windshield. I was surprised with the color. The only thing is how to avoid marks or ghosts on the tint. I tried to push it. Goes away, but not 100%. Surprised with the color. The only thing is, how do you avoid marks or ghosts on tint? Okay, so ghosting, you could be talking about a couple different things. Are you talking about like little glue spots? Or are you talking about like, I shrunk a finger and I see the finger ghosty? Camera 2. Oh. Camera 2. There we go, that's cool. It's most likely smoke residue before you lay the film. No. It's kind of glue spots. What soap are you using? Tinter battles? No. Almost, but not quite. I'm gonna be gone again. It is funny because we weren't gonna be gone. And then, surprise, we're gone again. Tint slime? It's probably just a little too grabby. That's one reason I like tint slip. I don't think... Okay, so again, it depends on how it is. No. Tell you're assuming a couple things. So I would have a couple different situations. If the glue grabbed the window and then was freed up, sometimes you would have a little warp spot there where that happened. And then sometimes I would see like little light foggy spots. And I want to say the foggy spots, like those disappear. But if it like actually grabbed the glass and distorted the glue, that's probably not gonna just like cure out. But I didn't, I'm not a big fan. Mark will throw a monkey wrench in this. He likes tint slime for whatever reason. I think, yeah, I don't know.
And so I haven't had any excuse to use something else. But I don't measure it scientifically. I measure with my heart.
Measure with my heart.
Squirt. That's how much I put in the 32-ounce bottle. That's all I have. 2 squirts.
I've used kegs and measured it out a little bit more. I wouldn't measure baby shampoo, but the other stuff, like I had a lot of sample bottles of slime, and I would basically use, like, they were 4-ounce sample bottles, and I would use like 3 ounces in a keg. But as soon as I switched to Avery, it's just a tackier film. I didn't like it for that, and I felt the same way about Pro Classic when I switched to that. So tint slime, especially the green, is just for people that like tackier installations. I like films that slide on the glass a little bit more. Geo is not one of those films that likes to just slide. So, tint slip. Do you have a tour, studio tour video? No. No, I don't. But it is pretty fun. The floor is just race deck. They're like snapped together tiles. There's some pros and cons there. Cleaning underneath them is the bitch of them. So, like, we're always walking above the water, which is nice. But that's dragging dirt down underneath it. So the only way to effectively clean them is to break them all up into large patches and drag them away and scrub underneath. So, like, it depends on the work that you're doing and how much of it you're doing. Because if you're, like, washing cars and you don't have floor drains, oof. You're just never going to give it time to evaporate. There we go. What gel are you using these days? Still using Instagel. It works really well. I have a bottle of Important sauce. I've used it a couple times. It's great. It's just too expensive. It's just too expensive most of the time. Because most of the cars I get are in this type of state. They're fairly new, clean. Some of them are mildly dirty. So if I have something like, you know, you're like early or late 90s, early 2000s vehicles that are just like beat up, I might have one of those coming in soon. But they're generally going somewhere else. So like if I wanted to make sure that I was covering up my edges, I'd break that stuff out like a fine wine. And then my daily driver is just going to be Instagel because it's good enough for the majority of situations. You versus Austin Cook. Oh. I met Austin. He's nice. Just very much a Instagram influencer. He got the picture, he got the quick clip, and he was on to the next thing. Dropped my fist, whole roll of tint slid out the other day. Ouch. That's no fun. Does the reach around come with a pink squeegee? No. No, it's just the handle. Are you in Detroit? Metro Detroit, Sterling Heights. All right, last door. There it is. Here's my toilet paper. Tinting outside. We're gonna put that aside and grab the other one. Yeah, a lot of things are wrong with it. It's the worst of everything. You don't have control over wind, your environment, dust. Those are all things that can make a tint job go bad really fast. So it makes your tint act like a kite. So a little breeze, and it's blowing it off the car. So it's very hard to work anywhere near the wind. Where's my, oh, it's on that tray, isn't it? And that tray's over there. I mean, it's like asking the question, painting a car outside. Can you do it? In theory, yeah. Does it make it way more difficult? Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I guess we gotta get a new one anyways. It just broke that end. I was just gonna bend it back a little bit. Even with a carport, you still get wind. I mean, if you can do in a carport, it'll help you out for sure. But you still have like wind coming in the front. You don't realize how many slight breezes there are until you're holding a little piece of film and it's just going everywhere. We'll do a pink one. I don't even need it right now. I cut all my doors. But yeah, like same answer to your question. Like, could you paint a car in a carport? Or are you gonna get some dust in that paint job? So when you can tint indoors, it doesn't even have to be a pretty space. It just has to be like enclosed with the wind, like guide down. That helps a lot. Shade helps a lot. Because there's like, it's opportunity cost. If you're trying to tint just like outside and you have an appointment scheduled and then it starts raining, are you still doing that appointment or are you rescheduling it? Like here, I don't know, it's like 20 degrees outside. It just means I can't tint outside for like a certain portion of the year, or I have to be in somebody's garage to do it. So like you don't need your own space. You absolutely could do things mobile, but like you could also use other people's spaces. My favorite way of doing mobile was working with existing companies. So they already had clients. They just needed tint. And they didn't have a tinter. So I'd come in a couple days a week. And I wasn't just bound to one shop. Oh, I forgot to see if my stuff was all synced up. We should look at that. Under 20 is where it stays in the garage for 5+ hours after a job, or wait till it's warmer. 20 degrees makes it freeze. That's still fine. You can ship it. It's always nice to leave it in for a little bit longer. Check your edges, make sure nothing popped up, and just everything is looking good. But you can absolutely ship it. Water's still in between the film and the glass. For whatever reason, it's still okay. Even at night, you can just ship it. You fold above the peeled liner? No. So here is the peeled liner, and then our fold was like right underneath. So same thing here. You can see our fold right there. So since I use tape, I don't have to do that anymore. It's just, I feel like I have to. Because if this is peeled, getting folded, that part that's touching here, I don't like that. So if I ever don't tape a seal and I fold the tint, that adhesive is just touching a dirty seal. I just don't like that. But especially with tape, it should be fine. It's clean, it's new. Maybe next time I'll do it. It's just that's how much I've been tinting this exact way. So some of those like real small differences, I'll just straight up forget about. And it's not that big of a deal, and it probably would be fine. Do you ever have the bag from the door lift because of the water? So if the tape isn't anchored down here, it absolutely could, like, water seeps underneath and then just causes it to pop loose. Some panels just don't like things sticking to them at all. I mean, I think all of them are designed that way. So then they're easy to clean, right? So like, you know, hey, I got dirt on my panel. And then it looks like new. So I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of things don't like to stick to them, namely tapes. Here we go. Doors. We'll wipe it off and be sure, but I think we're good. Is there a certain way you have to work with windows like Mustangs? So if it's a frameless, they're a bit of a different process, just in cutting. Installation, I'll install them the same, but, or no, I'm sorry, I won't. I'll peel the whole thing and install them all at once. There is some differences there. Bottom loading with frameless, like Mustangs, are the way to go, yeah. Yeah, it for sure is. The only weird thing about me doing them is I don't pull the seals still, so I bottom load them with the seals. Because you can just like push on the window, free up some space, and then it's easy peasy. My Mustang is the only one I struggle with for some reason. It's because it's your car. That's annoying. But it's a big category, too. There's so many frameless sets of sedans now, namely Teslas. I just did a set of doors on a Model Y today. This one, that's what I need. Camera 3. I got a question, may I ask? Yeah, for sure. No, just you. You're not allowed, everybody else can, just not you. Yes, ask. Or was that your question? That's it? Why is it going to Mark? Camera 2. Camera 2. Camera 2. Wow. It's just not. What is listening? Huh. Camera 2. Oh, yeah, see? Weird. I don't know what caused it to hang up, but it did. I'm looking for Elisa's space to tint and wrap, but I couldn't find one in California. Like anywhere in California. There's definitely places in California. They're just going to be freakishly expensive for anything that's worthwhile. That's the problem with California. What's the zoning? I don't know. Automotive? Mechanical, automotive? I'm honestly not sure because this space is just like, I tint windows. I need a space for tinting. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. I feel like a lot of industrial or a lot of places with garage doors are perfectly fine for it. But I'm not in every other state, so I don't know. Should I go to a realtor to find one? It sounds like if you can't find one, that would be your next best bet. I don't think it's that hard finding a warehouse or a commercial space. LoopNet, Crixie?
C-R-E-X-I.
C-R-E-X-Y? C-R-E-X-I. C-R-E-X-I. Mark, he's a realtor. He recommends this site. Most of them don't allow car in space. Yeah, then probably get a realtor to kind of at least point you in the right direction on what you're looking for. Open my LLC today. Nice. We'll get my certificate soon. From who? Oh, on the realtor website? Whoa, that is a big, we'll just paste this. Where do we paste it? When do we paste it? No. I didn't use that site. I didn't know about it. So I don't know how to compare. I did a mix of a few things. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, LoopNet. LoopNet was another one. Because not a lot of them are gonna be in a traditional real estate listing. They're gonna be, like, landlords are all over the place on like just how they are. Some of them are just privately listing it. Some of them have a management company. Some of them will have somebody that's in charge of making listings on site. So it's like, it can just vary. I'm not an expert on finding places. I just found this one. What's your tape that you use for the back glass? I usually have a package for it. Do I have one in here? No. Oh my God, look at how fucking up that drawer is. It's called Glass Aid Cut Guard. Do you work Saturdays and Sundays? Mostly no. Sundays are almost always a guaranteed off. I've like tinted, I think I tinted a car this year on a Sunday. Like once. And then Saturdays, I had them open, and then it just goes by availability. If the weeks seem to die down, people almost inevitably want Saturdays. So I'll open for like a Saturday or two, and then close them off again. Largest back windshield. Usually windshields are bigger, but probably a Porsche 922. That was a tall ass back window. I don't even think a 40 fit it. I'm trying to remember. I had to splice it because I like had it scheduled for a day, and then the roll that I had didn't fit it. So I ended up splicing it. Makes sense for an older car. No light needed to cut. I like that. Oh yeah, it's nice. Tesla 60-inch. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about Teslas. I have a Model 3, the back window on the Tesla, by far. You right. Yeah, that one's just crazy big. I was trying to think of one that was like a pain in the butt to do. That Porsche definitely was a pain in the butt. Rude. I threw it on a flat surface and it fell off. Corvettes. Corvettes are a pain in the butt for sure. But a 36 will still fit them. Shut up. No. You guys a GeoShield distributor or just a third party that sells for them? Why you gotta say it like that? Rude. No, so all the orders forward to their warehouse, so we don't stock it here. All the pricing's the same, ship times are the same, everything's the same. It's just if you want to go through their site or our site. Camera 3. Maybe it's the wind. Camera 3. Interesting. It's just being a bitch today. I didn't mean it in a rude way. It's all good. Appreciate that though. Camera 3. There we go. I guess I gotta be a little bit more commanding. Like, come on. What car do you like to work on the least? There's a couple categories. Old shit. Just because stuff was very different. So it comes with a lot of challenges that you just don't see unless you regularly work on old shit. So like your classic cars, your classic trucks, all that stuff, no thank you. It's not that I can't do it. I mean, some of them are ridiculously difficult, but a lot of them, they just take time. You get extra dirt in the edges, so it's not necessarily a matter of, can I get tint on this window? It's how many times do I gotta try to get a good, clean result? Not fun. And the other one is I don't want to just say like higher end cars, but you just have your cars that have sensitive materials and the windows are a little bit more challenging to do. So you want to keep everything covered and safe, but it's hard to do that and still have access to the windows. And so you're wondering if, hey, do I have to do this more than once? And if I do, am I going to have like a multi-$1,000 bill? Have you ever had to send a certain car to a different tint shop? Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't have anywhere to send him to. I just like respectfully declined. So I had somebody I did a set of doors for, and he's like, hey, I got an El Camino. I'm like, I don't want to touch it. He's like, that's okay. Somebody already quoted me $250 for it. Have at it. Not interested. And that's really the biggest problem with your older cars. Is like a lot of older cars were not very well maintained, or somebody got it at on a deal. So they just didn't pay as much. And tint's just gonna cost way more on something like that because it's that much harder to do. It's just not fun. I lost my mind doing an 81 El Camino, never again. Yep. So I know for sure that would be my same experience. Could I get it done? Eventually. Like I've tinted a Fiero. That was not fun. I've done old stuff. And it's just, the typical story with old stuff is that it takes you all day to do it. And no matter what you charge them, you always wish you made more money on it. And it's just like whatever you made didn't feel like it was worth the frustration of dealing with that. And then you start to look like, hey, I could do 3 or 4 of these cars in a shorter amount of time and have way less stress. So you generally just quote those to the point where somebody's like, wow, that's crazy. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to touch it. Or I'm usually a little bit more upfront with them now at this point. If they just have like a certain vehicle, which I don't get asked that much. Oh, I should have sprayed. That's why we're having some problems. That's why it felt like it kept moving. Now we're good, because now it has something to latch onto. But for me, I'm not going to stream it. I'm just going to spend all day on that car. So, opportunity lost. I don't feel better about tinting it. I'm just glad it's out of my life. So I'll have those days still a few times a year. But I'm pretty upfront with the people on just like, yeah, I don't want to take that one on, I'm sorry. We just don't specialize in that type of work is what I say. Because I don't. It would be fun seeing you tint a Camino on a live stream. No. I would just struggle with it all day. I would get progressively more angry. I mean, which sounds funny, but at some point it's probably just sad. It's not even good for video because it's slow. It's like, if there was like a summary of all the mistakes, but it's just like slowly watching that happen, it's like, I think it's boring. All right. So, bulldozer, this guy, maybe a slim slam. Thank you, ma'am. Toss those there. Throw this out. SUVs with factory back tint gave me a midlife crisis. SUVs with factory tint are like bread and butter. They're way straightforward. And it's nice that they're tinted, because then people don't see as many mistakes. There we go. We don't specialize in old cars is a good way to say it. F old cars. Yep. Yup. You either quote high, so they already automatically decline, because you're like, who would pay $1,500 to do this old piece of shit? Especially when they're calling around getting quotes. Like, most places aren't going to quote that. And a lot of places, they have a dumbass salesman behind the counter who is going to give a somewhat regular quote. And then it's going to be some other poor tinter's problem. And then that sales guy is going to be like, what, is it difficult? Oh, well, I didn't know. And that's that. Why do you spray the tint before you squeegee it? Because that's how it works. You know what? I don't have the room for this. Squeegees need something to glide on. So when you're squeegeeing, you're doing a couple of different things. You're either cleaning, like we're doing now, right? So it's carrying the dirt. So a squeegee is going to do a really nice job of taking all of that and lifting it away. But you can also squeegee a couple patterns together. So you spray, put two pieces of film together, or put it on the glass and hard squeegee it, and then it sticks to that window much better. Here, let's do this. There, now you guys can see a little bit better. Kind of. Maybe up here. I know it's dark. Oh, I don't like that. I feel like that should be lower. Something like that. I like to show the inside of the car. It's just a little much trying to keep something mounted on your chest. Da 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 da. Now we're gonna peel this. Coat it. I don't know about your state, but New York tints will automatically give 1 point. Do you think that'll affect business? It's been a thing for a very, very long time. It's nothing new. Well, I don't know about New York, but points on license for tint in Michigan has always been 2. And businesses always seem to grow. And it's become more accepted. Just, I doubt the laws are ever gonna catch up. And to be honest, we don't really need it in writing. It's just, look at social norms. So yes, some people will get popped for it. Some cities are gonna be stricter than others. But it's just way more accepted now. You just don't have somebody that's in charge ever really gonna make it make sense across the board, especially for every state. There's too many cooks in that kitchen. You know? Got a little down at the bottom, probably. Hopefully not anymore. Is it done? No issues?
Basically. If I'm gonna do one until I try something different.
That's cool. Monday. Or next Monday.
Release party.
Do you give their car a complimentary detail for spraying their car? No. Nope. We're just not set up for detailing. I don't like spraying the car. It's just part of it. You can do some things to kind of avoid it a little bit. But I don't want to be held responsible for wiping paint. And then somebody swears up and down that we scratched it. I'll touch the glass. I'll wipe down the interior. Try and cover up what we can. But yeah, I don't like it. It's just part of it. Free wash with any tint, yeah. I know, this one was all nice and clean. I feel bad. But it's a wet application. Uh-oh, I pushed the button. Oh, it's okay. Free wash with all my tints, automatic touch-free next door. Oh, that's cool. Detailing with tint package. Yeah, definitely very time consuming. You want to think of small little add-ons that kind of fit in the process. So like a glass coating would be cool. Like light PPF packages. So you could do like the hood portion, small pieces, edge guards, which would be here, door cups, which would be on your fingernails or scratching the shit out of the inside, covering that kind of stuff up. Doing some type of protection package. Detailing is like a cool service, but it's gonna end up adding way more time. So like if you have the right setup or the right help, having somebody hanging around that can just wash cars and like a quick vacuum on the interior is what I'll hear too. But that would be like an expected, or not expected, but that would be like a complimentary, hey, we did this for you. And they're like, oh, that was really nice, appreciate it. Not something that you would try and sell them. Plus, you get a lot of people that are just looking for like a singular thing. Like if you're just a tint shop, or if you specialize in that, you'd want to look at adding a secondary service. But you can absolutely have packages that have both. But like somebody that's calling for tint is mainly looking for a price on window tint. So like when they're there, you could talk to them about adding on one of those like quick services. At this point in your business, do you still have to upsell customers on ceramic, or they basically come in? It just depends on the person. We had a couple people. You heading out?
Yeah.
All right.
His invoice is written up.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, we're playing with the Tint AI this weekend. That's the only thing I'm actually concerned about. But
That's good.
it's working right now, so
All right.
give it a shot and let me know.
Sounds good. I'll see how I can break it. So we had a couple people today, sets of doors, those are both carbon. This one walked in and he was already ceramic. I'd say at our price point, we generally just get people getting our medium tier, which is C2. So it was set up in a similar way when we offered Pro Classic. So a good, better, best solution. Your mid pricing is where you generally are going to get the most people. And it should be typically like your best value. So we've just arranged things so that's how that one works. Oh, when did that happen? Huh? Oh, no wonder it's been so quiet. Or did it break? Oh, dang. I didn't know that happened. That would have been nice to know. I think, what was that? What's loading? No wonder it was so YouTube heavy. What do they say? Unable to connect. Oh. Hang on, we're trying it again. Oh, really? Oh, I should have checked it earlier. I don't have a great way of monitoring it. Yep, there it is. It had a bug. It just stopped working for TikTok. That's kind of annoying. Well, it's not going to be exciting now, but we'll see if we can get it working again the way it's supposed to. There it goes. Weird. Sorry. It's kind of funny to go live at the end of the stream, but that's when we figured it out. Which tint do you prefer, Pro Nano or C2 ceramic? I definitely prefer C2 at this point. There's a few film lines of Pro Nano I like a little bit better, just like a ceramic film to ceramic film. But we have an answer for it, and that's Apex. So C2 is a single layer ceramic, and so is Pro Nano. Pro Nano is going to be a little bit better on specs, but C2 is going to be better on color. So that's why we put C2 as our mid-grade. And now that they have Apex, I'm not really losing out on anything. If somebody wants more ceramic, they get that. If they're a little bit more budget conscious, they get C2. I'm 23, looking to get into tinting. I plan on purchasing an online course and learning there. Any tips? Do I really need a garage? You are putting, what's the expression? The cart before the horse pretty hard. I've been asked that quite a few times today. Like, do I need a garage? Or is tinting outside okay? I don't know why I'm getting asked so many times in this stream. But tinting outside when you're new, it's like learning how, like, can you paint a car outside? Or do you need a paint booth? For tinting, you just need an enclosed space. It doesn't have to be a pretty space, but especially when you're learning, you're gonna run into a lot of issues. The real world's gonna kick you hard in the face. So learning online, I mean, that's why I do all these live streams. I teach a lot online. It's just, damn, really putting me on the spot. What was that one? Which tint do you prefer? What, about the films? No, not on that. The guy I'm putting on the spot is tinting online. Like, you're gonna learn a lot from just watching videos. You definitely want to try as much as possible to have some type of indoor space, especially when you're new. You got so many things working against you. Maybe I'm getting people confused. I was answering somebody else's question, though. But maybe you were in there, too. Yeah, tinting outside is a pain in the butt. It's just tough. Maybe I can give a real-world example. I don't even know if it's windy. I'm just going to go outside and see. Probably dark, though. Oh, no, we got a little bit. So it's really not. And breeze. Up. See a little bit there. I have like a breeze outside. It's just you have so much working against you. You have the sun, which is trying to dry everything out. You have the wind, which is trying to take your shit and throw it off the car, drag dirt back into your work and make your life miserable. But then you have like rain. You have rain on top of it. Audio was cutting out. And your audio cuts out when you go outside. So it's just the worst of everything. So what I was trying to say is it's not even windy outside, but there just like a slight breeze is enough to pick up your film and try and take it off the car. So you just have to like learn how to adapt to all of that. So when you're new, like we have classes that are dedicated to just teaching people indoors. And it's hard enough to learn. So when you're trying to do it outside, it just adds another layer that just makes it so much harder. So I'll just keep making the comparison, like tinting outside is a lot like trying to paint a car outside. There's just things that you can't cover up, can't account for. You're gonna have an easier time tinting a car than painting a car. But there's so many little things that are out there to crease your film, throw dirt in there, that it just makes it a pain in the ass to learn. I feel like C2 is better for like gray color. Pro Nano is bluish. No, Pro Nano is more brownish. I got the samples. I could put them side by side. The main offender was 35. A little bit in the 5%. But 35 was the worst offender. 50 leans a little blue though for whatever reason. Like this is my Pro Nano sample board here. I keep this back here. Do we have a nice, like where can we put this? That gives us like a nice range because the camera adjusts a lot. You can't really see it quite as much there. Maybe if we just get it close. The 35 is gonna be pretty brown. 5, there's gonna be a little bit to it. 20 was decent. 50 was fine because it was so light, and so was 70. So the majority of what I'm installing is 20 and 5, and then the handful of times that we were doing 35 on a windshield at the time, I was like, ugh, I don't like doing that. Factory matching, get a tint meter, and then just get a few different shades on hand. Because it varies. I had a Model 3 that metered at 25%, and I had a 4Runner that metered at 30%. Both of those were front doors to match the rear. On the Model Y, I didn't have a film that would have a perfect match. On the 4Runner, we did 35 carbon. I noticed a lot more people prefer 20 rather than 35. Yep, 20 is really popular. It's factory privacy glass. It gives you more privacy, but it's still easy enough to see through. So it's kind of the best of everything. All right, I gotta message this guy. Nope, that was the other guy. I think this guy. Turned out great. And then I'm gonna send him a picture. Oh, it doesn't have that windshield tinted. So I guess that picture doesn't make as much sense. Maybe more side profile, a little bit like this. Or an extra one on the back. Where's the key? Let me grab the key. You finished that fast? It was pretty straightforward. I'll be up there. I've been watching your live. Cool. How many square feet is your shop? 4,300, somewhere around there. This loft space, we built that, so that added like 1,000 square feet. So we had the lower area, that back room, all this space, that was 3,300. And then we were looking for a bigger space and realized it was more cost effective to just add storage all up there, because basically that's what we needed. And so we're here for another 2 years. Look at this thing. Your boss is going to be fired you. Yes, I fire myself. How much should a tint shop average a month? Ooh. Camera one. That's a hard question. Because for some people, just making a little bit of money and covering expenses is enough. Oh, it's pretty close. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. Close enough. You can kind of figure out where you're going to be at just by figuring out how much am I going to charge, what is my material cost, and then what is my overhead going to be. So you could do some simple stuff like rent, utilities, internet, phones. And then if you only charge $250 and do 1 car a day, you know, for some people, that's going to be okay if your rent's low enough. But then for some people, that's not going to make sense at all. Overhead and taxes hurt. Yes, they do. You only use Geo? Yep. Yeah, I don't have any reason to use any other films. GeoShield's awesome. I'm not missing out by using them versus somebody else. They look good. They last as long as I've been using them. Got carbon 25 on my Civic. Nice. I have a light interior. Would that make the tint look lighter? Yes. Is this your shop? Yes. So tint works only because it's dark inside the car. So you see how it's fairly easy to see through? But then you close it up, and then, whoa, that looks really dark. That's just because your interior is really dark. All your lighting is on the outside of the car. Certain angles are going to make it a little bit lighter. So you see that. We can see the screen. We can see the dash. We can see the steering wheel. But then if you start looking this way, it gets darker and darker. So the amount of sun that's coming in through the windshield, your angle, all that will kind of change how it looks. Do people ask sunroofs? Not a lot here, but we do a few. Some other places do more than us. So I'd say it's just depends on where you are and if you recommend them or not. They're already going to be factory tinted. And many, 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 many of them have a shade. So there isn't much of a reason to really tint them. The big EV roofs are already ceramic, so sometimes people will go a little bit darker. Are you the only tinter? I'm the only main tinter. Mark, he was here. He's another tinter. But we don't try and do a lot of volume here. We try and keep things busy enough, but not stress ourselves out. We have other projects. Why do people say ceramic always makes looking out of it is better than regular carbon? I've seen so many confidently say ceramic makes looking out clearer and looking darker. I feel like it's just for sales. I don't think it's actually true. A good film in any type of material is going to be easy to see through. A good dyed film, a good carbon film, a good ceramic film. They're all going to be easy to see through. So If you want to try and boost sales, you could just muddy the waters a little bit and say, yeah, our ceramic's super clear. It's going to be a little clearer than the carbon, and like a customer is not going to know. They're just going to go with your recommendation. So like it's a quick way to just like fuzz a sale. Why the big TV for the plotter? That's because we can. It's good for video and illustrations and stuff, and it's been nice for the software, but it's definitely not needed. It's just kind of the centerpiece for all the cabinets. We went all out with end-to-end cabinets, and I was getting a plotter, and I plopped that right in the middle, and if it had just a little TV up there, it'd be lame. Did you hand cut this one? Yep. Yeah, I hand cut everything on this one. Because I have a big plotter over there. Actually, like, no, I really did. I use a plotter. I just don't always use it. Part of it's just teaching. So people are interested in the plotter, but usually have more of a difficult time with hand cutting. So I like to kind of keep things more like that. For plotters, do they require shrinking as well? Yes. Plotters just gives you the shape. So I can get my shape by hand cutting it, or I can get my shape by cutting it on the machine. Regardless, I have a flat shape of this window. So then I have to shrink it to give it the curve, and then I can install it. What is with the door and the windows? So that's for flat glass training. So people can come out here and learn automotive, or if they want to learn commercial or house residential windows, that's what all that is. See that big old sign right there? Geo Shield, but what's it say underneath? Architectural. So we were doing dedicated classes for it, but now we just have single day sessions open for anybody that wants to learn commercial stuff. That's a lot of this film. That's that film handler up there. That used to be a plain wall. That wall didn't exist. That wall was built in front of what is now just back storage. So like we put a lot of big shelves for just like random shit back here, and this was inventory. But then we built a wall in front of it when we remodeled, because we did the flooring, we did all the cabinets and stuff, and then it's like flat glass training wall is what this became. And it helps finish up the space. What's your marketing tactic in your city? I have a company running Google ads for me. How do you feel about the workhorse plotter? It's okay. I think it's the best budget machine that you're gonna find.
Yes, I do that all the time.
Wow.
It's very convenient when you cut down the windshield.
I didn't know it worked like that. That's kind of cool. I'll keep that in mind. Plotter Depot. Let's go there. So I had a workhorse machine for a long time. I had a Workhorse 1, which I feel like was a better value except at $26.99. Shit, tariffs hit pretty hard, huh? That used to be 2,000, I think. Unless that was a 54-inch machine and they just don't have it anymore. Doesn't look like they're trying to restock that. Oh, no, that's this one. 53-inch workhorse. This one. If you want a budget machine, get this one. $15.99, 53-inch machine, now in stock, you jump on that machine, that's gonna go out of stock pretty soon. The Workhorse 2 looks better, but the catch basket is too high, causing tint to bind up, and then the rollers are the exact same, the cutter's the exact same. All you're getting is like a nicer looking machine. So I don't think that's worth the price difference. You don't get any additional features. It's not better. Just get the Workhorse 1. This, I would say, would be a significant upgrade. I don't know when it'll be back in stock. I haven't tried this machine, but this was basically the Workhorse 3 built for window tinting, where the Workhorse 1 and the Workhorse 2 are inherently just vinyl cutting machines with a Workhorse brand on them. So this one was actually purpose-built for window tinting. Up from there, if you're buying something brand new, I'd say Jag is gonna be like your best all-rounder. Like this machine, 40-inch, 3600, it's tough to beat. You're gonna get all the same features as a Graphtec. And Graphtecs are just overkill. They're super nice, but they're super overkill. We're just cutting window tint. We're not cutting thousands of die cut stickers every day. We're not using them to their full potential. We're literally just cutting out window film. I have the Workhorse 2, works great. Yep, good machine. I have a 53-inch Viver machine. It's actually been a really solid machine. Nice. What was the price on that? Like 500? I've heard they can be hit or miss. I haven't gone out of my way to buy one, but based on what I've read, some people can get them dialed in fine, and then some people have had just like some issues with that. So even trying to get a Graphtec to cut clean on window tint can still be a chore. It's not easy. 700 or 800. Nice. That's cool. Has business been slow? It's been up or down. Slower overall, yeah. But we're still taking advantage of whatever comes in, and then I have enough other stuff to fill my time. The company I work for, we have a big account with Lumar, so we get all our Graphtecs for free. Dang. Like, you guys are moving some serious volume for Lumar to throw Graphtecs at you. They do not want to lose you as an account, that's for damn sure. They will bend over backwards. They will move hell on earth. That's crazy. I remember when businesses used to be like that. My dad had an auto accessories company with like 12 to 15 locations, somewhere in there. And they ordered a lot of product. And so they would get like free vacations and treated to dinners and whatever from local reps. Like when you just do that kind of volume, they're just gonna splurge on you because they just like, yep, stay with us, don't go anywhere else. That's crazy. Those days are cool. AI meta glasses is very good for video. Yeah, meta glasses are great for shooting video. We've got 16 stores nationwide, so we do 70 to 90 in tint a month. Yeah, oh yeah. Damn. You guys are single-handedly keeping Lumar in business. Just on those stores alone. That's super cool. See, that's what your bigger companies are always looking for. They don't want to fuck around with small people. That's why when somebody looking to order just a couple rolls of film gets confused. So if I call Lumar, I'm like, hey, I want to get some film. They're like, yeah, sure. So how much volume do you do? And you're like, I'm new to this. They're just, oh, you can go find something else somewhere else. We're not interested in your business. You're going to take up too much phone time, and you're not going to order pallets of film like the other company. Just at my store, we get Lumar film brought in on a pallet. Yep, literally. Yeah, there's just those types of companies. So like your Expels, Lumars, 3Ms, those are the types of businesses that they're looking for. That's a lot of times why newer people are a little confused, like, well, I don't want to call and set up an account. I don't want to have to do this. I don't have to do that. Can't I just buy a roll of film? They want to protect their brands. They don't want your business. I heard from another installer that Lumar is crappy tint. Lumar is not crappy. They're just overvalued. They make good films. They have good support system. They especially have good support. I'd say it's just like when you're talking about a Lumar, an Expel, a 3M, a lot of time you're overspending on brand. That's why you're interested in them in the first place, is because they've priced themselves in a certain way that gets you to look at them. They've got that type of regular customer awareness, better prestige. So when somebody who just, I tint a couple cars here and there, they're just not interested in that type of business. Lumar does suck. That's why they bought Suntech. No, they do own Suntech, but alrighty, hang on one sec. Let me end the stream. Hey, you want to check it out? I'm gonna end the stream now. It looks good. Alrighty, guys, thank you.